What if I told you that the next time you are partying in Maharashtra and drinking and enjoying yourself, you are actually funding the Ladki Bahin Yojana? Really? How come? Let's take a look at the details in this video. You must have heard of the Ladki Bahin Yojana, which was started in August 2024 in Maharashtra. This scheme was meant to give the benefits to the economically weak women in Maharashtra. Basically, this Ladki Bahin Yojana was something to uplift the woman and to give them the benefits. What is this Yojana basically? What is the scheme basically? It was something connected to a freebie. You can call this particular scheme in terms of a freebie, which was declared by the government. Basically, that time it was CM Eknath Shinde, and this was a financial assistance of 1,500, which was by method of DBT, that is the direct benefit or transferred to the account holder. So the eligible women were between the age group of 21 to 65 years in Maharashtra, where the annual income of their family, that is the family income combined together, does not exceed 2,50,000 per annum. Now, of course, there were some exclusions and some inclusions in this particular scheme. We are going to take a look at that also. There were many people who called this as an election stunt to actually distribute freebies to get the attention of people and to get their votes. And many of the opposition party leaders and people had mentioned that the government is going to face problems because of these freebies, and it's going to come at a huge cost to the for the government which is coming into formation. There were certain eligibility criteria for this particular scheme, and only those women who were actually eligible should have applied. But there were a lot of women who had applied, and the amounts were wrongly credited to their accounts. And so the total cost had gone up in the first year or so till date, and a lot of funds were lost, and the government lost a lot of funds due to this particular mistake. Now, what were the eligibility criteria? Just take a look at this. The applicant should be a female. The applicant should be resident of Maharashtra state. Age should be between 21 to 65 years, and they should have a bank account which was Aadhaar linked. Annual combined family income should not exceed 2,50,000. Uh, Outsourced employees, voluntary workers, contract workers with income up to 2,50,000 are eligible. And the applicant should be any one of the following: either she's a married woman, a widowed, divorced, abandoned and destitute woman, and also the eligibility was related to one unmarried woman in the family. Now, there were also certain exclusions. So, if at all your family annual income was more than 2,50,000, you were not eligible. Also, the family member is an income tax payer, then no. Family members are working as regular permanent employees in government departments, undertaking boards, Government of India, local authorities. So, basically, government connected employees did not have the benefit. The beneficiary woman would receive 1,500 per month through the financial scheme implemented by other departments of government. So already if they are availed a certain scheme, they don't have eligibility for this. The family member is a present or a former MP or MLA. And excluded were the family members of the chairperson, vice chairman, director, member of the board, corporation, undertaking of government of India or state government. And also, if at all a person held or had a four-wheeler, excluding a tractor, registered in the name of the family member. So these people would be excluded. These women would be excluded. So how many came to the eligibility? How many satisfied the eligibility requirements? So basically, if you see the 2011 data of the population, it had this was the data basically. And if you see the non-workers, the eighth point of this, and in the females, the column of females, the last point says 3 crores 73 lakhs 20,274. So these were, you could say, the categorization based on 2011 data. There was no census conducted later on, so we don't know, we don't have the statistics. But anyway, so of this 3 crores, around 3 crores of women, how many applied? So the application was made by 2.46 crore beneficiaries. So it was nearly 2.5 crore of beneficiaries that came for the application. And so if you look at the scheme, 2.46 crore, that is the number of people, the number of women who had applied, into 1,500 per month, which was directly transferred to the account in the form of cash. That means the money was transferred directly. So the amount came to 3,690 crores per month. So the government has to pay without any benefit. It's not a subsidy, it's not encouragement for any specific purpose. It is just a cash given, and you don't have any control on the spendings. So where this 1,500 goes, where the woman is spending it, whether she's wasting it, whether she's using it for a proper purpose, nothing is seen. So 1,500 rupees given to each woman is at the mercy of usage of that person, of that individual, and government has no control. So over this 3,690 crores per month, right, this entire amount per month which is distributed, the government is given as a freebie without any control on the spendings. The state, once the distribution started and once the amounts were already given away, the state suddenly realized, oh, there are some women who were ineligible and still got the benefits transferred. So basically 8 lakh of such women were already taking the benefit under the Namo Shetkari and the Kisan Sanman Yojanas. So these 8 lakh women automatically became ineligible and their names were taken out from the list of the applicants. Then there were 2.3 lakh women who were receiving benefits under the Sanjay Gandhi Niradhar Yojana. So even these 2.3 were removed from the list. But at the same time, if you see, one important thing here is that the government did not do any kind of groundwork. So it did not, the government authorities did not actually go and check. Just the basic documentation was checked, and they did not, the government officials did not actually go from person to person to verify whether this particular allotment, this particular amount which is being transferred is transferred actually to the eligible members. So the eligibility, just in case you receive any complaint from somebody that this woman is ineligible and still she's taking the benefit, only then there is some action taken. So basically this is a big issue in this particular scheme, because of which probability is that even if the women are earning a lot of money, still they are availing the benefits. Now, what happened at Davos? Davos, at this particular World Economic Forum, which had actually taken place, CM Devendra Fadnavis had attended this, and in that he mentioned something very important. He said that currently there are nearly 20 lakh women in Maharashtra who probably, there is a probability that they are taking the benefit of this particular scheme even though they are not eligible. So actually, if we remove the name of these total 20 lakh of women who are ineligible from this particular scheme, the state can save nearly 300 crore rupees per month. So it's a huge amount. So still the distribution is going on to probably ineligible women, and the state is suffering, and who is paying for this is basically the taxpayers. Now the government is finding it tough. Okay, it's feeling that okay, we are paying for this particular scheme, but it is becoming tough to meet up with the expenses. Now there was some fiscal deficit which was estimated to something 1 lakh or so crores for the year 24-25. But what has happened? It has nearly doubled, 2 lakh crore rupees. And the limit, the fiscal deficit is said to be maximum that you can have is 3% of the gross state domestic product. So just like we have GDP for the entire country, we have GDP for the state, which is the GSDP, and this total of this amount, the total goods and services which are sold in the state, of this only 3% should be the fiscal deficit, but actually it has already exceeded that particular limit, which is not a good sign. So what should be done for this now? The government is thinking, what should we do now on this? Government, what they did, they increased the stamp duty on certain transactions. So some limitations of the stamp duty transactions were listed out, and on this the stamp duty was increased. Then second thing, now what they're doing currently is they're thinking of, or they are actually going to pass this particular hike in the excise duty, which is a levy which the state can do. So where is the scope now? So where is the scope now to increase this excise duty? They have found out a way. So excise duty is levied on certain goods, on specific products which the state has control over, is the liquor. One of them is liquor. Indian made foreign liquor. This is the target of the government, and on this the excise duty levy will be increased 3 times to nearly 4.5 times of the earlier value. This will help the state earn nearly 14,000 crores annually. So whatever the fiscal deficit is happening because of this Ladki Bahin Yojana and other freebies and other things which are being distributed, which were promised during the election campaign, it is proving to be a burden for the government now. And so government is trying to levy and use certain tactics of levy of different taxes on the people in the state so that they can pay for this particular yojana. So in a way, next time, what as I told you in the beginning, that next time when you're paying for the liquor, which is the Indian made foreign liquor which you may be consuming, you are actually paying a tax which is going to go for the funding of the Ladki Bahin Yojana. So overall, you can see that the freebies, which are actually of no direct benefit, that means you don't have control over the spending, like it's not creating employment, not necessarily creating employment, not necessarily giving a benefit in terms of any product which is being purchased, which is required, like gas cylinder, which was subsidized earlier, or it is not even giving any benefit in the form of education. So no skill development. It is just like 1500 you can take and you do whatever you want. You can party, you can give it away, you can donate, you can use it for your maybe use it for your own consumption, use it to buy clothing, use to buy anything, or even use it in a negative manner, like they may also consume liquor out of it. You don't know. So overall, the freebies were, as predicted, a huge cost to the government, and it is now finding it difficult to actually keep the fund and the scheme going. So they are even planning to drop out these schemes now because they are no longer going to be like beneficial in a way to the government, because many infrastructure projects, in fact what I had read in the news recently was that many infrastructure projects were stopped. Only one third, only 10% of the funds were allotted to the infrastructure development and projects because there was no fund facility available. Overall, we can say that the freebies are a big cost to the government, and as it was predicted before the elections by the people who said that this is not going to be a good thing for the government because already Maharashtra is in fiscal deficit and we don't want to increase the burden, but still they did not listen, and they used this particular yojana, the scheme of Ladki Bahin, for the purpose of election campaigning, and these freebies were distributed. Now they are finding it difficult to arrange for the funds to actually go for these yojanas or these schemes. So basically, any freebie in any country, in any state, will not be a good thing. Subsidies we can understand, grants we can understand, or any scholarships and certain things which are given to a certain purpose can be understood because at least there is a purpose behind the distribution. But so these kind of schemes are indirectly a burden to the taxpayers. What is your opinion on this? Let me know in the comment section. So on Commerce Gyan, you will find such interesting videos and certain data and research about economics, about legal things, legal matters, changes which have happened in the economy around us, about geopolitical issues which impact the economy, and such other interesting things. So just in case you have not joined the journey of Commerce Gyan, do subscribe to this channel and hope to see you in the next video of Commerce Gyan. Thank you.